Okay, last time we talked on camera, I was talking about the Focus Friend app where you have a little bean, it's by Hank Green, and like you decorate the room. I need you to see my room. I've been focusing so hard. Garbanzo is decked out, my guys. Garbanzo is decked out. I wanted to start a reading vlog where I try to catch up on my reading goal. I think my goal this year was 80 books. I really can't remember. It's a blur. I usually do 120 books because that's typically what I'll read in a year, if not a little bit more. But with my new job and like feeling really overwhelmed and burnt out so much of this year, I wanted it to be a more achievable goal for myself, and I thought 80 might be that. I don't know if that's actually true. I don't know if that's true because I'm currently like 4 or 5 books behind, and I want to try to catch up. I'm not worried about the size of the books. I'm not going to just try to squeeze in the tiniest books that I can find to catch up on the goal. I actually want to catch up by reading things I'm interested in. And yesterday, one of the most exciting things happened to me. I finished my final tattoo. I would show you, but it is gross right now. It is really gross right now because it's the day after, it's healing, it's oozing. So I'm gonna spare you that because I hate when there's a jump scare like that in someone's video, so I'm not gonna do that to you. But just know, I'm in so much pain. Self-inflicted, and it's done. 3 sessions, 21 hours. I got my cover up and a beautiful piece that I really, really love. I'm just so happy because if you didn't know, I've been on this journey to cover up a Harry Potter tattoo, and it was just like a mistake that I made when I was like 19 years old. I hated it the moment that I got it. I went home and cried. It's been something that's been the bane of my existence since I got it, and I've just kind of lived with it, and I've spent a really long time trying to figure out what I could do to like cover it up, what I would want to do to cover it up. And because of this really bad experience with not 1 but 2 tattoos, I took a very, very long time to ever get another tattoo, which was my ghost one. I loved it. I really loved the experience with my tattoo artist, and so I thought she'd be the perfect person to do this cover up. I actually waited like 2 years after initially getting a tattoo from her to finally settle on the tattoo that I want, and it's here. It's done. It's done. It exists. And the cover up so far looks amazing, and I'm sure that when it heals it's going to continue to look amazing, but like, it's gone. This tattoo that I've had for so long and hated, it's gone. I can't believe it. It's very surreal. Sometimes I like look at my other side of my chest area because I'm like, oh, it's obviously existing there. I've never not had this ugly tattoo. No, it's gone. It's gone. That being said, I really am bringing this up because every time I go to the appointment, they're like 7.5 hours-ish. And so I'm able to get in a lot of reading. Right before the tattoo appointment, I had my patrons take a poll to help me pick which book that I wanted to use to catch up on my reading. The one that won was Terror at the Gates. And this is an urban fantasy. That's really all I knew about it. I saw Rachel from Raven-Haired Reader read it. I've been interested in A Scarlet St. Clair, but I don't really care about the Hades and Persephone retellings, so I just have not been drawn to much of her other stuff, and I've said it before, I really don't love fairy tale retellings, so I don't go out of my way to pick them up, even though I know a lot of fantasy romance has like specifically Beauty and the Beast and Hades and Persephone's retellings. I don't like go out of my way to pick them up because they're retellings. I just happen to pick them up and they happen to be retellings. So I haven't really been drawn to much of what she's written, but this one is like, people say if you like Crescent City, you're probably gonna like this one. I agree. I do agree, okay? I do. However, I also think that this is unique in and of itself because religion plays such a huge part in this world. And I would say there's less like vampires, fae, all of that stuff. From what I'm seeing right now, people have magic, but like no one is classified as being like fae or a vampire or a shifter, etc. So it feels like it's just a magical world and people are just people with magic. That's how it's feeling so far. We haven't really had any mentions otherwise, but there's just such interesting commentary about religion in here. And while it's not named, because this is in theory a magical world and a world that's not our own, is very much giving Christianity and Catholicism. Basically, women are oppressed in this society and they are at the whims of men. So they have to have a man in their life kind of making specific decisions for them, talking for them in certain situations. And they are not allowed to do magic, even though by the doctrine, magic is kind of made for women. Like, women typically possess the magic and have the most control over their magic. But somehow that's created a very oppressive patriarchal society. And so I think there's such interesting commentary about religion in here that I was not expecting. I kind of went into this expecting more of a Crescent City feeling because of the reviews that I've seen, but this is so different. But also I think that if you like aspects of Crescent City and the fact that it's urban fantasy and kind of the descriptors, I guess, and like there's a murder mystery element, I think you're gonna really like this. Our main character Lilith, she comes from a pretty wealthy family, and this family has a lot of sway in this world. However, she doesn't live in that area anymore. She has moved and she lives with her best friend, and she wanted to meet different people. She kind of wanted to get out from under the thumb of her father, and she lives in this district that is run by this guy named Zavriel, and he's supposed to be very handsome. He's supposed to be someone who kind of looks out for her, and they have a bit of an attraction to each other. But at the same time, Lilith is kind of like, yeah, indisputably he is handsome, and I know that he's an attractive person, but like, I'm not interested in him that way. And I really, really love their dynamic so far. But the crux of this book is people are winding up dead, and they're winding up dead in Lilith's vicinity. And it's happening after a situation that unfolds at the very beginning of the book, which has led to this like murder mystery and this greater plot, I feel, but I don't want to give it away because it is mystery-like, so I want you to go in and be like surprised. I have a really good feeling that I'm gonna love this book, and a big part of that is last night when I left my tattoo appointment, I wanted to go home and read some more. This morning I woke up wanting to read more, and I love that feeling. Oh my God, do you know what's here? Do you know what's here? It is, I'm just using my hands. This is the Illumicrate Farseer trilogy. It's a special edition of the Farseer trilogy. I don't really know how long ago these went on sale. I want to say it's been like 3 or 4 months since they went on sale, and I kind of forgot about when they would be delivered because I didn't get a shipping notification. And then my patron Nicole was posting about her special editions in the Discord, and I was like, wait a second, do we think mine is at home? And I checked the delivery status and it said delivered. Oh my God. So my other favorite special edition that I've ever purchased was also from Illumicrate, and it is the Jade City ones. You're not going to be able to see them, they're behind that card, but it is the Jade City ones. I love how they're so, I don't know, everything just feels cohesive usually, and everything is simple yet stunning. Simple yet stunning. And as y'all may know if you've been around my channel for a while, Robin Hobb is one of my favorite authors of all time. This is my favorite like interconnected series of all time. So this first trilogy is the first trilogy in the realm of the Elderlings, and I am a firm believer that you have to read them in order, and they are making these in order. I don't know if they're only going to be doing the first trilogy or if they're going to try to do all of the series in the world, but I don't know. I would be totally fine with just the first series, but like all of them, could you imagine? like literally speechless. He's so stunning. That's only the first one. Don't worry, I will be doing B-roll so that you can see all of the intricacies of this special edition, but oh my God. Is this what's finally gonna get me to do my reread? I've been really terrified of my reread, not because I think I'm not gonna like it. It's more of I'm just scared of being hurt again. I'm not even like a sprayed edges person, but like on a special edition, there's something really great about it. The only thing I guess that I wish is that like the details in this may have carried over, but I don't hate what they did here. So this should be book 2, which is my favorite book in the trilogy. If not like one of my top 2 or 3 books in the entire series. I'm really speechless. I'm really speechless at this. Oh. Wait. Oh my God, I really don't have anything to say. I'm just trying to take it all in. This is truly capturing the vibe, because to me, the Six Duchies is just so cold. It's such a cold place. Battling a migraine all day. My migraines have progressed to the point of like me feeling nauseated and not really wanting to eat anything, so I kind of have to force myself to eat, and then I feel even more sick. So I've just been battling that all day. However, I have had time to read. I've been reading Terror at the Gates, despite this saying 1% read. I put it back on the title screen, so that's why it says 1% read. I'm like 68% into the book and I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. I will say my only complaint, I guess at this point, is the magic system's not super clear. And I would probably be bothered by that in any other type of book, but with fantasy romance, I'm a little bit more forgiving about magic systems. Although maybe that's not fair. Maybe that's not a fair thing to do. I don't know. I just feel like the point of a fantasy romance half the time is the romance. And I think that the romance aspect in this book is done really well. I think that while there's an established relationship between these two characters before we've even met them, it's not so established that it feels like we're being left out of the plot and the relationship and how this relationship is developing. We get to see the full extent of them pining. We get to see the full extent of their relationship becoming more than just this kind of arrangement. I mean, he's sort of protecting Lilith, our main character. And so really their whole situation was an arrangement slash a protection type thing. And now you're seeing them be thrust into situations all the time. And he's very protective of her. He is always doing like little acts of service for her, or big acts of service for her. And she's trying to work her way through this mystery and people kind of dying around her. There was at like the 50% mark this reveal-ish about the murder mystery that was very interesting and unexpected. It was a very unexpected twist for me. That's not really where I saw it going. But at the same time, it made sense. Like, it wasn't this random reveal that we couldn't see coming or didn't make sense to what's been happening. It actually made perfect sense based on a lot of the themes in this book, and I think the themes are the thing that really draws me to this book. I like the two main characters a lot. I'm very attached to them. I'm especially attached to Lilith, but we're mainly in her head. But I find that the themes of this book are fascinating. They're very fascinating. I also like Lilith's relationship with different characters in this book because you can really sense how deeply she feels about the people around her and the very close connections that she has with a lot of the people in her life. They are found family, and you know I'm a sucker for found family. I'm a big sucker for found family. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm probably going to finish it today. I don't see why not. This book reads really fast. I don't think it's going to be 5-star. I'm not predicting a 5-star, but it's definitely going to be one of those books where I'm going to move on with the series. I don't know how long the series is going to be, but I'll definitely be moving on with the series. And I specifically just love the themes. Like, the female rage in here is especially speaking to me currently, you know? Since I will be most likely finishing this today, I have to think about what I want to read next. And I was thinking about rereading Fear the Flames and moving into Wrath of the Dragons. However, I've been really wanting to get back into some Robin Hobb, but I don't know if that's a good idea. She gives me so much anxiety. So those are the two books I'm most likely to pick up after this. To be completely honest, I feel like Robin Hobb's probably going to be the answer, but I really do want to get into my reread of Fear the Flames. I'm like very excited for the sequel. I'm very excited for it. Oh my god, I finished Terror at the Gates. What a cliffhanger. What an ending. I really had a fun time, but I will say it's not the one complaint that I have. It's a complaint that I have of a few, but it's not just the singular one complaint that I have. The complaint that I have is I needed the female main character to stand up, stop begging this man to have sex with you. Stop it, Lily, stop it. That, very frustrating to me, was giving me the ick, bad. Otherwise, like I was talking about yesterday, the magic system and the setup of the magic system / how this world is explained. I think the world is explained well enough, but the magic system is not explained well enough to me, especially for how it ended. I was like, this is a really good ending. I really like this ending, but I feel like in the second book, you're gonna have to do some heavy lifting to help the readers fully understand the magic system here, which may have been her plan all along. Maybe we're getting to know the magic system with the character, because that is definitely kind of something that's happening here, but there is similarly a magic system that exists already that we're like kind of privy to, but at the same time we are learning about a magic system with our main character, and I definitely think we'll be learning about it more so in the second book. But I'm for sure going to be moving on with the second book. For sure. I think I'm going to download Fear the Flame for today, and I'm going to start it today and see how I feel.
Camped out on the porch, trying to work this out.
so glad I'm back. I'm so glad I'm back in this book. Okay, I'm on chapter 4. This is not a spoiler at all. We already know that in the beginning of this book, the princess, the lost princess, she's making a deal with the assassin, and these are the love interests. So they're meeting up for the first time to kind of make this deal to team up. And he says, "Relax, little shadow, it's me." Oh, lovely. That makes being tied up in a dark forest all the more enjoyable. You held a knife to my neck before running away. Consider this a precautionary measure. She said, "You didn't seem to mind." And he says, "I never said I did." I really like the dialogue in here. I really like how sarcastic they are towards each other. And that's only 27 pages into the book. That's only 27 pages in. I'm so easily distracted today. Something about today. I'm like sleepy and very distracted, but I did a few things today. So I got these really cute Mary Jane Doc Martens a few weeks ago, and they were just a little bit too small. So I wear like a 7.5, and every website that I looked at said something different. Like every Reddit thread, every website talking about if I should size up or size down because Doc Martens don't do half sizes. Also, if you can hear Jared in the background, he is going ham on putting away the dishes. Anyway, I looked at a million websites about going up or going down because they don't do half sizes. And for the most part, the consensus was to go a size down. No, not on the Mary Jane. It's definitely true for some of their boots, like the Chelsea boots that I got. I had to size down. I ended up getting a 7 instead of an 8, and they were perfect and they stretched out. But apparently the Mary Janes like don't really stretch out, and also they're not even like super comfortable when you get them a size down from what I experienced. So instead of returning it online, I went to a store and I exchanged it, and I got an 8, and they fit perfectly and I love them. And I'm gonna wear them tonight actually, because we are going to the 626 market, which is like this big market of different food. It's a night market that has a lot of food. I think they also sell crafts and things like that. This will be my first time ever going, and I'm so excited, even though it's gonna be so hot. But the other thing that I did, because I have been in my walking era, okay? I have been walking like nobody's business. I'm really heavily getting into it. It's just a wonderful form of exercise for me personally because it's easy for me to do. It's really accessible. I can find a lot of time in my day to do it, as well as I'm doing like hot yoga, but I just find a lot of time in my day to do walks, and I've been like more intentional about putting them throughout the day instead of being like, oh, I need to do like this really long workout after work or whatever. I've been doing walks multiple times a day and just kind of trying to hit step goals, you know? So I decided that if I do a month of walking regularly and I'm like continuously getting it in throughout the days and I'm not really falling off of my walking habit, then I would reward myself with a new pair of walking shoes, because currently I just have these beat up Adidas that I've had for years, and they're actually not very comfortable. They're not very comfortable. They were comfortable maybe in the first like month of me having them. I actually don't know though if they were meant for running. I may have gotten them for running because at a point in time I was like trying to be a runner, but my knees aren't built for that. So yeah, I've just had these really terrible running shoes slash potentially walking shoes, I don't know, that definitely don't give me enough support, and my feet usually hurt and my ankles really hurt after wearing them. Yeah, I decided that if I kept to the habit, I was gonna buy myself a pair of walking shoes, because if I did it for a month, the likelihood that I'm going to keep doing it and actually getting a lot of use out of these shoes is very high. But the other thing that I really wanted to do was I didn't want to just go like research what's the best walking shoe and then try on a few and buy them and call it a day. I wanted to go to a running store or a shoe store, athletic shoe store where they actually like measure your foot and like help you out with it. And one of my patrons, when I was asking for brand recommendations for running slash walking shoes, they also recommended this. So I ended up doing that today. Most traumatizing experience, because if you're me, I hate feet with a fiery passion. So not only to be surrounded by naked feet everywhere, to also have to get my biscuits out, to get my dogs out in front of everyone, have somebody help me take on and off shoes, a horrible time, embarrassing, first and foremost, and secondly horrifying for me, because what do you mean everyone's pigs are on display and I'm just near it? I'm just near it. I hated that, but got some shoes. I got some shoes. So I got the Hoka brand, which it was between Hoka, New Balance, and Brooks, and I tried on like 6 different shoes. We got these. I didn't really want black, to be honest. I was hoping for like white or neutral or something, but these were the only ones that were in the store because it was a pretty small store. So I got the ones with a little bit of rose gold for a little razzle dazzle, and I'm like, whatever. It's fine. They're just my walking shoes. I'm not going to be like making a fashion statement with these, but I'm really excited because they fit really nicely. I felt very supported in them, and they're so squishy and comfortable, and I'm very excited. I'm just excited to have a walking shoe that's going to be comfortable, and hopefully my ankles won't hurt after like they do in the shoes that I currently have. Yeah, that's what's been going on with me. Like I said, tonight we're going to the 626 market, so I'm not going to get in a ton of reading, but I have been reading Fear the Flames. I'm 10 chapters in. The reread is going amazing. The reread is going amazing. It's going swimmingly. It's going swimmingly. Oh, you know what the other thing I did was? So I've been playing so much Baldur's Gate that I haven't really allowed myself to get into any other big story-based games, but I'm at the point now where I've replayed it so many times. I haven't beat Baldur's Gate yet because I'm too scared to, but hopefully soon I'm going to, because I've been streaming it for my Patreon and we're getting into Act 3 and I'm determined to beat it with them. So yeah, that being said, I hadn't allowed myself to get into big story-based games, but Expedition 33 has been on my wish list since I saw the initial trailer before it was released, and then Tori has been playing it on her Twitch. I think she just recently beat it, and I decided to finally start it because I think I'm at the capacity to take in another story-based game, like big story-based game. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. I've already played like 5 hours of it and I am obsessed. I love the battles. I love how the battle scenes play out. It is turn-based, but I've learned to really appreciate that because of Baldur's Gate. But I really just enjoy how the combat works in this game, and the graphics are incredible. The storyline so far is so fascinating, and I feel like I'm gonna be heartbroken because I've already cried like 3 times.
Where did the time go? How do we move so far away? Holding on, how much can we both take when love is in echo? I can't hear a word.
Hello. So yesterday we went to the 626 market, like I had mentioned we were going to do, and I knew that there were tons of food there and that there were supposed to be craft booths, but I didn't realize how many craft booths and also how many amazing crafts would be there. And if you've ever been around me in person, I cannot be contained. I cannot be contained around crafts. I have to buy something. And not only did they have like crocheted things, the cutest crocheted things you've ever seen, there were a lot of artists there as well, like that had art pieces that you could buy, and they had really good deals for them. So I'm gonna show you the 3 prints. This one was buy 2, get 1 free. And I believe these prints were only $20 each. So I got a little bit of a theme because I really want to, I think I want to place them on this wall behind me. I think I'm going to frame them and place them on the wall behind me. But I ended up getting this little rat guy, little rat boy. I got this little rat boy under a lamp. I loved the colors. I loved the vibe of it. Just the little rat boy. Little rat boy. There's a theme. There is a theme. Another little rat boy pushing up a flower, and he has a little cape on. I just, again, the colors, the vibrancy of it, just everything spoke to me, and I do feel like all 3 of these pictures really go well together. So those are the first 2, and then this last one, a little rat boy and a cat. Oh my god, and it's a tuxedo, and when I saw it, I was like, that is Goose. That is Goose, because Goose also has 1 leg that's white. Goose also has like little pattern on his nose. He has green eyes. That's Goose. This cat's a little fluffier than Goose, but that's Goose. I felt like all 3 of these went pretty well together. This would have probably been a better find if the colors were a little bit darker, but you know, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. And the artist is Sophie McNally, so McNally. I'll link her store below. She has an Etsy store, because I'm for sure going to be getting more prints. So then I found a bunch of crocheted things, and one of the more popular things going around right now is like crochet bouquets because they don't die. And so I did get a few. I would love to add more to it, like especially the sunflowers. But look at this, look at this, look at this. And I put it in my mushroom flower holder. I've had this guy for a while. Haven't really known what I wanted to do with him because it's not the best for actual flowers, but it's the best for this. And I'm thinking I would like to get a few more sunflowers. And these are the little bluebells that I love. But how cute! How cute are these? The other thing that I got from a different shop are these little hanging strawberry plants and the little hanging leaves. I don't actually know, it's probably a pothos. All of the shops that I got from, that I bought anything from, they did give cards, so I'll link them all down below if you're interested in any of them. And then the other shop where I got the bouquet, because I got this bouquet at one shop and then I got these hanging plants at a different shop. So yeah, those are all the artsy things that I got. And then today I've been doing my reset video for Patreon, and I've been cleaning the house and decorating for fall. So you can probably see some of the fall decorations are out. The living room is mainly where they're out. But while I've been doing all of that, I've been listening to Fear the Flames. I'm a little over halfway at this point. Still really, really loving it. I'm so glad that I decided to reread this because it's very much putting me in the cozy vibes. There's something about the writing and the atmosphere of this that just feels so cozy to me. I think it's because this very much, it gives those ye olden days of like fantasies that I always read where the places feel cold and they're drinking hot apple cider and they're cozied up by the fire and there's like travel, and I don't know, there's just something about it that reminds me of a lot of the books that I read when I was younger. And it's also just giving the cozy time of year. And I think also the way that the characters interact with one another, there's something that's just bringing coziness to it. Something about the writing, something about the atmosphere, and the setting feels extremely cozy despite the fact that there's like a rebellion / revenge plot, you know? What's cozier than revenge? So Fear the Flames follows a main character named Ellie, and she is a princess. She's a long lost princess. When she was born, a neighboring kingdom gifted her 5 dragons, and when those dragons started to develop a really strong bond to Ellie, they killed her mother, and in turn her father kind of lost it, and he decided to lock up Ellie and try to break the bond between her and the dragons. But he was unable to break the bonds, so her uncle, when she was 7 years old, ended up swooping her up, and they made their way to this like smaller village, unknown place with a few other people. And over the years, over I think 17 years, she has built up a kingdom. However, in the beginning of the book, she meets Caden, and Caden is supposed to be this like vicious warrior for another kingdom. And it turns out that he knows who she is. He's been looking for her because he wants to make an alliance. His kingdom wants to make an alliance with her kingdom, and they want to take down her father's kingdom. And this is something very intriguing for her because her whole life she has been waiting for the opportunity to take down her father and get her dragons back. I really, really love the banter. I love the traveling parts. I really am so interested in the dragons. They aren't fully a part of the book because obviously she's trying to get them back, but like we talk about them so much that I kind of feel like I know them, and I'm so excited to like maybe in the second book have more dragons.
I just wanna go out on a walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you. You don't have to tell me anything that's new. I just wanna go out on a walk with you. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine.
I had to run a few errands today, even though the will to leave my house was so minuscule. It was so tiny, but I did it because I really need to get mouthwash. I'm almost out. Like, I think my last use of it will be tonight, and I'm obsessed with this mouthwash. Like, I have to have it, so I need to get it. I need to get some purple conditioner for the blonde because I fear it going yellow. I don't want that to happen. What a nightmare. And I really want to get the supplies to bake some cinnamon rolls. I have been watching this woman named Wendy because of Kitty. Kitty sent her to me. And basically Wendy lives in Canada. She's an older woman who like camps. And because of her, I want to make cinnamon rolls because she makes these no-knead cinnamon rolls. And I want to make them. I want to make them. She makes them so often and they look so good. I need them. I'm already in a baking mood. Like, after making my fall bucket list, which is this guy here, I was talking about how I wanted to make like a cinnamon apple bread type of dessert, which led me down the path of like cinnamon rolls. Duh. So I think I'm gonna make some cinnamon rolls today because I just like am having a really cozy day. Also, I started Wrath of the Dragons. We will talk about my reread of Fear the Flames. Spoiler alert, I loved it. So I started Wrath of the Dragons, and you guys, we get a POV from Caden. I love that. I love when a book that is just single POV switches to us getting the POV of the male main character. I mean, I would rather from the start have dual POV, but if we don't have it and then the second book has it, I don't know, I eat it up. I get so excited. And so the book started with his POV. Who knows how often we'll get his POV? I'm not holding my breath right now, but I'm hoping that it's a good mixture of both Elwyn and Caden. Okay, let's run these errands. We are adults. We got this. Hello. So we're gonna make the cinnamon rolls right now. I'm actually gonna meal prep a bunch of stuff, I think. Well, not a bunch. I'm gonna meal prep some chicken, a pasta salad, and the dough for the cinnamon rolls. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time today because it's almost 3, and I stream around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to do anything with these cinnamon rolls. However, you can simply cover your dough loosely and refrigerate, come back within 24 hours, remove from fridge, and resume rising. So yeah, I don't know how long it takes for this to rise. I'm gonna be using a Sally's baking addiction recipe, the easy cinnamon rolls from scratch. I could probably still do this. Let's try. Why not? You know, risk it for the biscuit. Okay, I had to double check that I actually had enough flour, and I just barely had enough flour. So I finished Fear the Flames last night, and I really enjoyed this reread. I enjoyed it even more than the first time, which has been happening to me a lot with my rereads these days. I mean, I guess that's not surprising. I really like to reread in general. I just don't give myself the time to do that anymore because I'm always like reading new things for different videos. But I do love a reread, and I guess this reread wasn't like fully necessary because I remembered basically everything except the very last chapter. I'm always surprised during a reread how much I actually remember of a book. And now I'm a quarter, I don't even know if I'm that far into the Wrath of the Dragons, and I'm just so happy that I chose to reread it and like continue on. It's definitely one of those books that continues right from the ending of the first book, and also just already being immersed into the world, it was so easy to like slip into this book, and I love the vibes. I don't know why her books read so cozy when it's not cozy fantasy. I think I said that everything was so cozy in another update. I don't mean it in the sense that this is cozy fantasy because it's not cozy fantasy. It's very tragic. There's a lot of death and manipulation and hardship that happens in here. But there's something about like the way she writes this world, the way that she describes foods, the way she describes setting, the atmosphere feels very cozy to me. But I think that coziness is coming from how it reminds me, like it gives me that nostalgia of like older fantasies that I've read in the past and really loved. So I think that's why it has that like cozy feeling, but it is not a cozy fantasy at all. And this is one of those instances where I love the main characters equally. Like I love Elwyn and I love Caden equally and for different reasons. Caden is the biggest simp. He is worshiping at the feet of Eowyn. She kind of has some darkness within her, you know what I mean? Like both of them have a bit of darkness in them, and I kind of like it because they both sort of relish in it together. And I love the idea of having two main characters that aren't completely good, that have a little bit of moral grayness to them. Eowyn is not trying to be a hero. She just wants her dragons and she wants to take down her father. And I love that journey for her. And I love that journey for her and Caden because they match each other's freak so well. And I'm someone who, like, I can take or leave a sex scene. I've said this before, but these ones are fun. They're very fun. They're very well written. And something about Caden just being so obsessed with Eowyn. He wrote the book of obsession, okay? I love an obsessed man, not in a creepy way. I love an obsessed man, or a man who's worshiping at the feet of the woman that he loves. Gets me every time. So I really, really enjoyed my reread, and I'm so excited to be in Wrath of the Dragons, but I have heard that the ending of this book destroys people, and the third one probably won't come out till sometime next year. I also don't know if this is a trilogy or if it's gonna be longer than a trilogy. I'm really praying for a trilogy at this point. I'm really praying for a trilogy. And so far, I'm getting really good vibes, like 5-star vibes, which I don't know when I had a 5-star last. It hasn't been that long, I feel. Probably Entreat Me. Entreat Me must have been my last 5-star. This year, I'm really finding my groove with fantasy romance. I have to say it. And I think it's pretty similar to what I like in fantasy generally, like the world building portion of it. And I think the fact that I've been reading so much more contemporary romance this year also has helped me pinpoint what I like in romance generally. So I have finished Wrath of the Dragons. It has been a little bit since I've updated you. And that is simply because I had a really big program yesterday. I had it yesterday. I have just been so busy at work. There is so much happening. There's so much I'm prepping for. And I didn't have time to update you. So I'm so sorry I did not update you throughout reading Wrath of the Dragons. But to be honest, I couldn't really say too much about it considering it's the second book in a series. But what I will say is I'm teetering on this being a 5 stars. I'm teetering. There are just some things for me that are holding me back from fully giving it a 5 stars, but like the majority of it I loved so much that I don't know why I'm being nitpicky. But if I'm being completely honest, if I think about how my reading has played out for the last year, because I am about to hit my year anniversary in this new position at the library. If I've thought about how my reading has been throughout my time in this position, I think one of the things that continues to come into play for me is the length of time that I'm spending with a book. Sometimes I'm totally cool with that. I'm totally cool with taking my time with a book and like getting through it over the course of like a week. However, there are situations like with this book where I really wanted to devour the book, and I felt like the fact that it took me so long to get through it, I was ready for it to be done in the end, not at the fault of the book, but at the fault of my reading. You know? I don't know why my brain is like that. I really struggle when I get past the 3-day mark of especially a fantasy book. I want to like devour fantasy books. So whenever I get past that like 3-day mark, I feel like I start to get impatient because I want to be done with it. Again, not at the fault of the book or like because I'm not enjoying the story, but because I want to know what's happening. I want to know. I want the answers. Aside from that, this was perfect. No notes. I don't have any notes. I really, 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 really love the writing. I love the atmosphere. I love this world. I like the magic system. I like the way the dragons are interwoven into the story. Although I will say that if you are like looking for another Fourth Wing-esque dragon fantasy, this is not the one. This is not the one. The dragons are a part of the world. They're integral to our main character Eowyn's life, but they don't speak, and it's not that kind of dragon story, you know? But I just really enjoy the dragons being a part of the world and important to our main character, so it's difficult for you to forget that dragons exist in this world. Whereas I think that sometimes other fantasies that have dragons in them, when the main characters are not as like intertwined with the dragons, it's really easy to forget that it is a dragon book. But I think that it's very present, especially in the second book. But the one thing that I love beyond everything else, and the one thing that this book is first and foremost, is a fantasy romance. Although, arguably, I will say that this has so much plot and so much world building and a really well fleshed out magic system. However, I do think we spend a lot of time with these characters just being in love with each other and talking about their feelings for one another. And that ultimately is what I love the most about this series. I really, really swoon over Eowyn and Kayden. These two have my heart. I love their banter, but I also love the way that they love each other. They match each other in so many ways. And I think I said it before in my reread of the first book, they're also kind of morally gray. They're not like completely morally gray, but they are going to make more morally gray decisions, especially because of who they are and what they've been through and like the positions they find themselves in currently and the things that they have to accomplish in order to find peace within their lives. There is a bit of moral grayness to like everything that they have to do and the decisions they're being forced to make. That being said, they are so soft for one another, but the way that Kayden worships at the feet of Eowyn, Olivia, you did something, babe. And as you've heard me say a million trillion times before, I love found family. And I especially love when there's banter and funny moments within the found family. I actually found myself laughing at things within both of these books. I also just found myself smiling all the time at different dynamics, not just Kayden and Eowyn. Like, Eowyn has a best friend who is basically her brother. They are the epitome of found family. Like, they love each other so fiercely, but it's just this platonic friendship. Again, they're like brother and sister. And I like that we addressed that at the very beginning of the first book, and then it's never been harped on since. It's not like we have this weird thing where Kayden's like, oh my god, but what if? What if she actually is in love with him? Eowyn basically stated what their relationship was, Kayden believed it, and we moved on and continued having a book. And I also really enjoy that she did have a male best friend and it was such a beautiful relationship, but also she made like wonderful female friendships along the way. And everyone is kind of just like there for one another and they kind of fall into this found family, and it seems easy and like they're meant to be around each other and meant to be family. It's also beautiful. I love it. Maybe I should just give it 5 stars. You're right. Because one of the things that solidifies a lot of books as like being my favorite books of all time are the rereadability of it. And I already reread the first one, and I would definitely reread the second one to go into the third one type of thing. And I could see myself rereading the series over and over again because it feels very comforting to me. Like the writing, the atmosphere, there's a coziness and comfort about this world. There's something familiar about it to me, despite the fact that this isn't a world I'm like, well, now I'm familiar with, but wasn't super familiar with before. You know what I mean? All I know is I'm going to be impatiently waiting for the third book. Impatiently waiting for the third book. Funny part about this video is I started out wanting to catch up on my reading goal, and I absolutely didn't do that. I'm still behind. I think I'm literally the same amount, if not an extra book behind, as when I started this video, but we read some really great books. I loved everything that I read. So I hope that you had a fun time hanging out with me. I loved hanging out with you. If you want to leave an emoji down below just to say hi, feel free to leave a dragon emoji, and I will talk to y'all next time. Bye, friends.